love that game to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I played it before I made the music video just to kind of try it out. Yeah, it's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
It's very, like, ethereal. Yeah. Yes?
Who's your favorite musical act that you've toured with?
Well, Walk of the Earth, obviously. Actually, we have had an absolute blast on this tour, and their show is so fun. You guys are really going to love their set. They're so creative, and I feel like we're kind of cut from the same cloth in terms of just being kind of unique and creative and, you know, a little bit quirky. So you guys are going to love them. Yeah.
What's your favorite place you visited?
Well, you know, my favorite place actually is Paris. I love I love Paris. If I could only eat one thing for the rest of my life, it would be a chocolate croissant. But it would have to be from France. None of this American chocolate croissants. Like, we can't get it right. We haven't figured it out yet. Yeah.
If you could have one superpower, what would you
One superpower. They're also dangerous when you actually think about them. Like, it would be wonderful to, like, I've always thought to be able to stop time for everybody else, but then, like, I can keep doing things. But then I'm like, oh, I would abuse that so quickly. Like, all of them, I just know I don't have the willpower to, like, safely keep them. So I'm going to say flying, because I don't feel like you can abuse that one. It would just be fun. Yeah.
Who is an artist that you would like to collab with in the future?
Ooh. I love Pink. She's one of my favorites. She is such a boss. I'm just obsessed with her. I'm actually going to her show shortly after I get off tour, and I can't wait. I'm just a big fan. Oh my gosh, Corey. Thank you. It's really bright up here. I'm trying to see all your beautiful faces. Yeah.
My mom's sister is named Lindsey.
Really? Oh my gosh. I tell you, my mom was trying to be unique when she named me Lindsey. She thought it was like a really unique name. At least where I grew up, the area, like there was always at least 2 Lindseys in every class, like every soccer team. Like one time on tour, we had 4 Lindseys, and there was a joke that it gave you a leg up on being brought onto this tour if your name was Lindsey. It wasn't true, but just, huh? It's probably similar. Yeah. Yeah.
How many instruments have you played in your lifetime?
Let's see. The violin is the only one that's worth hearing me play. But I have played the flute. I played that actually growing up as well. I also played the baritone for a little bit. I'm not sure why I gravitated to that. It was a short time period. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. My favorite instrument? Well, the violin. I'm very biased. The violin's my favorite. But you know what? I will say my second favorite is the piano. I think the piano is so beautiful. That was a large bird or an insect. In the back.
How did you connect with Celine Dion for the cover of Who Wants to Live Forever?
Well, let's see. Celine Dion. Oh, it was actually the Show Must Go On.
Show must go on.
Yeah. And it was, I believe, the Billboard Awards that connected us, because she performed it live at the Billboard Awards, and they were like, who should do the guitar solo? And I'm not sure. I love to think that Celine had the idea to bring me on, which I don't know. All I know is I was contacted by the Grand team, and I'm not sure whose idea it was, but I'm just going to pretend that Celine Dion really wanted me to play that part and said, I will not perform at the Billboard Awards unless Lindsey Stirling plays that solo. That's probably what happened. Yes, in the yellow.
I had a question. You said you make a lot of your outfits. What's kind of your process from like designing it to making it, and like how long does it usually take you to?
You know, it always depends. A lot of times I like to do a lot of shopping and find pieces. I'm not the most amazing seamstress, like I can sew, but so usually I'll just find something that I'm like, oh, this is a great base, and I can work with that, you know, and I'm really good at sewing like skirts and pinning and tucking things and making, you know, embellishments and rhinestoning stuff, and so yeah, but usually it all starts with like finding the base and being like, you know, and then all of a sudden you can see it. And for me, there's just so many little criteria of like, it has to be danceable, it has to be stretchy, it has to be not too hot, it has to not get, like, there can't be too much extra fabric or it'll land on my violin. So there's so many little criteria. So I've learned that it's usually the easiest to just make them myself. Because it's, yeah, there's a lot of trial and error involved. Yes, my lady in the beautiful flower dress.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite cover?
Color.
You know, I've really enjoyed, actually, recently, like, promoting Cashmere. It's like the most rock I've ever done, so I really enjoyed that. But also, I love Carol of the Bells. That one is just, that was so fun. It's always been my favorite Christmas song, and so it was really fun to put my own twist on it.
What's your favorite color?
This is not the first time this has happened. I'll go off, not like just answer the question, I'll like go off on a story and someone's like, that's cool and all, but I said cats. I'm like, no, not cats. Anyways, my favorite color. Okay. I like orange, but purple's sneaking up on it. Orange is my favorite color. Yes. Yes.
Victoria wants to know how you're so flexible. Did you take gymnastics, or what do you do to be so flexible?
So, you want to know like what I learned on, or like my training?
Yes. Like how you became so flexible to be able to dance and do all that you do.
Yes. You know, I actually didn't start dancing at all, and I mean at all, until I was 25. I always wanted to dance, but you know, my parents couldn't give me both violin and dance lessons, and I chose the violin. And then when I was in my 20s, I started writing music. I was like, I should learn to like move around while I play, you know, so I can make this more engaging. I wanted to be a performer. And so I started to teach myself just to like how to move and play, and really, because I wasn't a dancer, the first thing I started to work on was flexibility, because I was like, you know, I can stay pretty stationary and do flexible moves while like leaning around with the violin. So I did work really hard on my flexibility, and then I learned to dance after that. Yes, in the green.
My question kind of paired with that. What is your process when you're first learning? Because I have a violinist and an aerialist and a dancer who is with her only violin trying to do things, and I'm like, no, we don't want to break the violin.
Oh.
So how are you?
Yes.
When you're practicing, what are you using?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm practicing, especially any of the stuff in the air or trying out new tricks because oftentimes it's just me experimenting. I have a little hoop rig at my house, and I'll just experiment by myself with it super low. But you know, I use an old electric violin because I definitely do not want to use my acoustic violins. And even when I'm learning new choreo, I never use my acoustics, because I mean, you're still focusing on the choreography more than you're focusing on the violin, and things happen. So I always use like an old electric that I have, and you can even find like a cheap violin online that's just used, and you only are using it for practice purposes. I would recommend that. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Lindsey, I've been your fan for 11 years. I really love you, and I appreciate all the things you do. I just came from Nashville. I'm late. I'm sorry. Do you think I still can have a picture with you?
I'm sure we can work that out. Yeah, you can talk to Lacey. Where is she? She's usually running around up there. Yeah, I'm sure we can work that out
Thank you so
for you to get a picture. Of course. Yes. My favorite book is I love Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. It's probably the book I read more than any other book. It's so good. It will change your life. In the back.
Are you dating anyone? If not, are you interested in anybody?
Oh my goodness, this crowd this is the second time. I do have a boyfriend at the moment, but that's very sweet. Thank you. Yeah.
Any advice for young violinists?
Any advice for young violinists? I think my best advice is probably just making sure you get the positions correct. I know it's so boring to like work on, you know, the hand position and the little exercises, but they're so important, and they make it so that you won't have to go back and try to retrain yourself later, because learning it the first time is always better. But yes, I would say once you really get those positions down, the violin becomes so much more fun, I promise. Yes, in the pink. How many what do I do a day?
Bow circles.
Bow circles do I do a day? Let's see, I'm trying to think. Is a bow circle when you take your bow off and you bring it back down to catch the frog?
Yeah, it's like just the repetition of just bow circles even without.
Yeah.
They got into a rhythm with that.
Yeah, I will say I used to do a lot of bow circles, a lot of those exercises. Now I'm actually not working so much on bow circles right now, but I am in a phase where I'm trying to make my vibrato better, so I practice my vibrato every day. Just simple stuff like that you got to kind of revisit. So I'm sure I'll be revisiting bow circles soon. But it's kind of like for me, whenever I just notice that a skill is a little bit rocky, and I'm like, oh, I've gotten messy, or I've gotten casual over here, I'll like start to work on a skill again.